Stop. Good afternoon, everyone. It might be evening when you get this. Tottenham on Tour special called Excuses. Excuses. We're going to get on to that. I've got my very, very good friend Nick ready to do this with me. Nick, my good man, as they said in the Gladiators, are you ready?
Awooga!
And I can't do it.
Tottenham on Tour.
Always helps to have that video intro bit ready to go. It shows the amateur. But Nick, before we get into things, how are you, my good friend?
Yeah, I'm good. I just no kids. Enjoyed the West Ham game, and yeah, just had a nice roast and gonna relax this evening. So nothing to worry about.
Well, nothing to worry about for another week in Tottenham. Well, actually, so you say that, God knows what could happen this week. But you know what? I mean, obviously, everyone's spoken about the shit show that was yesterday.
Yeah.
But before we get into the main special of this, me and Nick are going to have a bit of deep dive to try and explain to people and watch a long reaction and just try to describe to people. Like, people think going to the game is hard, watching the game at home is hard. I mean, you and I have had the pleasure of doing it together or separately on many, many a time of going to the We Are Tottenham TV studio, the mothership, and having to help provide content for people that want alternative commentary. How did you feel yesterday? Do that. Forget the game. Forget. I mean, what your emotions? Everything.
I mean, look, it's of course you're. I mean, look, you get there, half an hour or so before. Do a bit of research. God, we sound like we're professionals, right? Do a bit of research. Get the teams up.
Have some wine gums.
Yeah, have some wine gums. That's probably what the issue was. I didn't have any wine gums, but yeah. Look, it's not as easy, and I guess as everyone kind of thinks it is, right? Because you've got, not only are you watching it as if you're watching it, but also having to commentate on it. And normally, obviously, when you're sat at home, either watching YouTube and watching the watch along, or you're watching the game, you're just reacting, right? You're kind of not having to talk for 2 hours non-stop. And then have a short break and then get into like the fan show. So yeah, I mean, look, it's tiring. And you're probably, I mean, not so much yesterday. There were times when I could feel myself having a little bit of a yawn. But obviously, like the midweek games, and when they're starting, and then you have a bad result and you think, Christ, if I get out of here at 1 a.m, that'd be a miracle. Yes, obviously, and then you don't know. You obviously don't know, once the game's done and everything else, you do the instant match reaction, which is straight afterwards, have a bit of a break, maybe grab some food, and then, yeah, it's the post-match fan show. And I think that's the one thing that you can never, obviously there are the usual suspects, let's just say, that come on, but then there may be someone that hasn't been on there, and you have to really think about the questions you're asking. You have to really try and understand, and kind of be a little bit balanced, let's just say, whereas you probably just want to absolutely rage like me and you have done, on a number of occasions. Yes. So
we have, and you know what it is as well. And I have to say to people sometimes think it's an act, or trust me, when I saw Nick throwing his headset set, I remember when we did the Leeds game and I lobbed a vape halfway across the studio. It's so hard, isn't it? Because you've got to remember, like, if you're at home, you can start shouting and screaming and effing and blinding and doing what, but you got to be careful with your P's and Q's or what you do. I mean, there's times where I just wanted to put my fist through that brick wall, or the brick wall backdrop, or kick something. But if you kick the table, and
table's going to collapse. Yeah,
exactly.
So you're up, Brian. You're absolutely right, and I think that's what you just need to realise. Not only, obviously, watching the 3 o'clock kickoff games, there's a slight delay, but obviously we don't have the comments on, because obviously it needs to be as real as possible, right? Obviously, when it's on normal times, or in the evenings, or on a Sunday afternoon, obviously it's in real time with everyone else, and you can interact more. But when you're not interacting with the comments, it's difficult. It's really difficult. And yesterday, like with always, it's so hard to keep your tongue, maybe, in terms of what you want to truly say. because you just got to remember where you are.
Yep. And do you know what? I think we're now going to get into the special part of this stream, and people will know the show is called Excuses. Now, I spoke to Brian Ireland earlier, and I spoke to Nick earlier, and I said, right, I'm going twice steak, so I'll be recording Cockerel Doodle Doo later on today. But I wanted to get this show out because I was speaking to a very, very good friend of mine, Jerry, this morning, who's an Arsenal fan, and we're phoning, and I've met him 14 years ago in Israel. No, 18 years ago in Israel. Jesus Christ, 18 years ago in Israel. And he was Arsenal, I'm Tottenham, but he has seen me Levy out from the day that I've been it. And we have the banter for each other. He's like, Brian, just wanted to call you and let you know something. And I was like, what's that? And it's like, should we win today? It's St.Totteringhams Day again. And I was like, oh shit. You've got to be.
Yeah.
And I checked. And I had a tweet ready to rock and roll. I said, Nick, this is the one we're doing. This is the one we're doing. And obviously Arsenal went 2-0 up. And then it was 2-2. Then I was talking to you saying, St.Totteringhams Day, is it? And I've tweeted it. And even I had to add to that tweet immediately.
Yeah.
Because someone said, well, it's not done mathematically. We can still do it.
Yeah,
and that's the kind of thing what I need to talk about, excuses. Because as Nick and I looked up, actually Nick did all the looking up, we are 21 points behind them with 7 games to go. So that means 21 points. And Arsenal have a plus 31 goal difference. So Arsenal need to lose all 7. We need to win all 7. And there has to be a 31 or 32 goal swing.
Oh, okay. So we just go and win 5-0 every game, right?
Yeah, and we've got to go to St James's Park. They've got United have got to come here, and we've got to go to Anfield where we've won twice since the Titanic sunk. So,
I mean, look, if it was Manchester City and that would have to win 7 in a row and get a plus 35 goal difference, you could probably buy that. And if it was, and if it was like a Southampton, you'd probably say, yeah, okay, they're probably going to lose all the remaining games. But this is not. This is Arsenal that are going to. I think they play Forest next, and then they've got Newcastle, Man City, Newcastle, Chelsea, or something like that. So yeah, they're gonna get at least 1 point out of 7 games. Yeah, I'm not sure we will get 1 point out of 7 games.
Nick, this is the thing. And one of the main reasons Nick's on here with me is because the first time I met Nick was at the NFL protest. First time I met you face to face, wasn't it? Was it the NFL? It was NFL? Was it? No, Chelsea.
Yeah. No, Chelsea. Yeah.
It would have been no, not Chelsea. Villa. It was Villa because Chelsea was Jimmy Greenstein. So it was Villa.
Yeah, it was Villa, and we were sat outside and we were going, why is all the NFL stuff up already? The game's not for 2 weeks. I'm sure it doesn't take long to get a few flags on lampposts. So
exactly. So we're doing that, and also when Ryan Graham and I started the training grounds protest in 2022, Nick was with us from day one and was there on the days he could. And people that would have seen Nick since then on YouTube will know that he is Levy out, but he's not one of the vocal like me. Let's put it that way. He's not like me. He tries to see the positive. He tries to find it. There's been a few times this season where you've snapped. I mean, Nick, where are you now right now? I mean, St Tottenham's Day, yesterday's performance, Newcastle losing, and another chance to. Where are you in the debacle and shit show that is Levy and Enoch?
Well, nothing has changed. I mean, I think, look, for me, I'm kind of, unless that magic number is hit for me, whatever that magic number is, whether that's 4 billion, 5 billion, 6 billion, 100 billion, whatever that mark is, I don't think that's the only way that you get these people out of the football club. That's my opinion. I'm not saying, what I'm saying is obviously yes, I've been to protest. The pure fact I haven't been to the protest in the last couple of weeks is because I haven't been to the games. I've been to 2 home games all season. I'm a season ticket holder. I watched the second half of the North London derby inside the stadium because the first 45 minutes was just horrendous, and I just couldn't be in there. It was just so toxic. I've actually, by the end of the season, I would have gone to more away games than I would have done home games. I mean, look, I've sold my ticket on the ticket exchange. So you could sit there and go, oh well, why are you selling your ticket? Because yeah, I need to. I can't just throw £1,000 or £1,218 plus a £275 booking fee
Don't
down.
forget that booking fee. Don't forget
But
that booking
also
fee.
when you move seats, you have to pay another booking fee. So obviously, if we get to move seats this season, we'll have to pay another booking fee of £275 on top. But look, I think that's kind of where I am in terms of where we're at with everything else. It's just the shambles. I mean, look, you people that have seen me said that if we get top four, I'm going to go for the Emerson Royale Shepherd's Pie haircut. We booked in June the Champions League hotels in Turkey. One, because it was a really good deal, and two, we genuinely thought we might get there
Because we had
and it's
150
just
that summer of spending.
yeah. But and look, I think it's just false hope, excuses. Look, Arsenal fans have gone quiet. I mean, I was just waiting for my phone when they went 2-0 up inside 10 minutes. I was just waiting and waiting for that final whistle to go, and then I was just going to turn my phone off because it was gonna it was all gonna happen. It was all gonna come, but. Yeah, I think look to think that Arsenal are not going to get 1 point, let alone we're going to win 7 in a row, is there's no excuses to sit there and say mathematically it's not done. It is done because we're not. Yes, we're scoring with the third highest scorers in the league, but I think we're the 16th worst team for conceding goals. So
West Ham have got a better defence than us.
Yeah, and I mean maybe we should. Maybe we should take a leaf out of what those other teams are doing. But yeah, it's just I think off the pitch, look, we can't, someone that I knew from work wanted a ticket for the game, bowled over by the stadium. And maybe that's the problem. We've taken it for granted and then we've seen what it is. But yeah, it's not helping, commercially great, but on the football pitch, we're an absolute shambles. And I think everyone knows I'm Emerson Royale's biggest fan, right? But to even sit there yesterday and say, actually, maybe Emerson Royale is our second or actually even our best defender at the moment tells you how much of a state that we're in.
Yeah. No, we're gonna touch on loads of excuses, but another excuse, Stellini's press conference where he said this wasn't down to tactical. These are individual errors that we need to cut out. Do you know what will happen? The same team will play against Newcastle.
Yeah,
it's more excuses.
Yeah. I mean, we need to cut out individual errors, or we need to go again, or we've got 7 cup finals, or it's the same narrative that's coming out, and I just again it's excuses. I mean, I've never seen a manager be sacked and they leave his assistant in charge at any football club. Obviously, if they go, then maybe there's the agreement that with Conte that he's paid off till the end of the season and Stellini stays so that we can find another manager.
We can finish that sentence. So we can sack him as well.
So we can sack him as well. But look, if look, it's looking more and more likely that let alone top 4, top 8, maybe or 8th, maybe the best we can finish. So look, it's excuses after excuses. I think you're right. Look, for me, I think Dan Juma should start instead of Kulusevski on Sunday next week. But it'll be well. Apart from we need to know what happened with Longley. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen there, because that's even greater. Because what do we do? Well, we're not going to pay. I mean, he might throw Sanchez back in after that, or we go to back 4, which we can't play a back 4. So then we've got Tanganga to come in, and that's I mean, it's just excuses after excuses now. So I don't know. Maybe it's a good thing that maybe if Clement Longley's out for the season, maybe that's a good thing, because then we'll see this get even worse.
Yep. The conveyor belt of quality you just mentioned at the back line was just brilliant. I can't wait till we kick it down the road till January to buy a defender, because we've had opportunities that have come up in other areas. But you mentioned Sanchez. I'm appalled by Spurs fans right now. I'm appalled, and I tweeted about it, and it's got a bit crazy, that tweet.
Yeah.
Where We have had Porro disable or deactivate, sorry is the word, his social media accounts. He's been here 3 months. The abuse he's got. Sanchez, listen, he's crap. He's not good enough. But it's because he hasn't been supported with quality around him when he had Jan and Toby. It's because he's had 5 different managers that have each told him a different role. We played 4s, we played 3s, we've played this. And I've heard from very, very good sources, one of the reasons he was really got very, very upset on the touchline, his parents and family had flown over from Colombia for the first time since COVID to watch him.
Wow.
So he comes on, does that. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a bad performance. Emerson got booed. But yet again, we'll do the easy thing of booing them rather than doing that. Why? Excuse. It's easier to blame the people on the pitch.
Yeah.
This club it's just falling to pieces, isn't it?
Yeah, and look, and I think, look, I mean, look, the booing of Davinson Sanchez. I mean, I don't really know what it achieves. Yesterday, I was really upset. But look, if we can all see it, if everyone in the stadium can see it, how can this acting caretaker, whatever you want to call it, management team, not see that was the wrong decision? I think I said as soon as he comes on, there's going to be a mistake, and then not only was there a colossal mistake, he then decided to switch Romero and Sanchez over, so Romero was left centre back. When all of the attacking in the first from Bournemouth was coming down Porro's side, so let's weaken it. And it's just, like you said, the booing of Emerson. Look, it's not their fault. They were signed. They've been picked to play. We have to, as much as we don't maybe want to, we have to support those players that are on the pitch. Because it was just embarrassing, and it was the same thing when he went off. He was cheered. The same when Emerson went off. Emerson didn't even understand. He thought they were cheering for him. He didn't realize that they were cheering because he was going off.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just kind of another excuse where look what we had. We have 2 goalkeepers on the bench because we don't have enough players to fulfill the bench. We've got a 17-year-old graduate yesterday that was on the bench. It's just there's just nothing. And what I kind of said yesterday, I said if we just need to get through these games unscathed, and obviously, hopefully, with Longley, I mean, it didn't look like anything happened really. Where it was innocuous. But let's just hope it's not serious because we've literally got nothing. We've got when the petrol light comes on and it's like 30 miles. Normally I'd risk it. With Tottenham, I wouldn't risk it at 30 miles. I'd go straight to the petrol station and fill up.
Well, mate, just to know, I mean, when it comes to these fixtures, I had a bet before Southampton with Ryan Isaacs. We had a bet on the Chinese, but we bet meals rather than money or drinks or whatever for obvious reasons. And he said before Southampton, we're going to win 8 out of our last 11. He now needs us to win every single game of the season. But just for another excuse, and I know what the excuse is coming. During this time of recording, Man U have just gone 2-0 up. Okay. So they're now 6 points ahead of us with a game in hand and yet to play us. But the excuse will be, but the Glazers are taking money. They hate the Glazers. They hate this. They hate that. Well, they may hate them, but they chant, we want the Glazers out 2-0 up in a final. They have a manager that comes in. They spend 90 million on Anthony. XYZ amount on Martinez. I don't know the exact money. Have the huge Ronaldo flare up, who is the biggest player on the planet, merchandising, and certainly the Premiership wise at the time. Went up against the manager. Only one winner. Manager. Out you go.
Yeah.
And yeah, there'll be another excuse. Oh, but the Glazers are taking money. Do you want the club? Mate, I'll take the Glazers over Levy every single day of the week. At least they back a manager. At least they finance it. So it'll be another excuse. They'll be 9 points ahead of us when they play us.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
It's all good, isn't it? I mean, Nick, let's not roll into it. I mean, it's excuse after excuse. I can list them all. I can go on a huge rant, but I want this season over. as soon as possible, ready for the summer of disappointment.
Yeah.
I mean, serious now. What do you see happening this summer? I mean, let's just fill this in. Scott Munn is on gardening leave till July the 1st.
Yeah.
So he can't do anything until the players come back to training, which means he can't act on the getting a director football in. He can't act on transfers. He can't act on anything. So that means for the month of June and end of May, there's one person dealing with transfers and contracts. The fact that Eric Dyer could sign one and Harry Kane might not sign one. What do we do? Where do we go? How does it?
Well, I think Ben said it yesterday. I think there's 19 players either out on loan or have an issue around re-signing or signing a contract. I just think there's just too much to do. I mean, I know. Look, obviously, we're still waiting to hear about Paratici and his ban, his worldwide ban. But look, I think there's just too much. There's too much to do. The first thing is we need a manager, because without the manager, we don't know whether Harry Kane's going to say, look. Personally, for me, I think he's, unless again someone comes in with 100 million, Levy's not going to entertain it, which means he then stays for another year, and then leaves on a free, or signs a pre-agreement in January with a foreign club, or leaves on a free in the
Nick, do
in
you
the
reckon
summer.
he's actually? Do you reckon 100's the number? Because do you reckon he is this arrogant and stupid and selfish and maniacal?
Yeah, I think 100. I think the 100's the number. I think 100's the number.
But if he doesn't, so you got to remember, near the end of the window, if he doesn't get that offer, he then risks nothing for Harry Kane. So do you reckon at some point it may start, let's say in May at 100, but surely if he has no intention of signing the contract or delays it, surely that number goes down a bit rather than risk losing him for nothing?
Well, not. I guess. Well, look, we haven't replaced or got a replacement for. Well, we have. We got Richarlison, so we spent the money there. So actually, obviously Harry Kane's the highest earner. Obviously versus other clubs, by far and below, a lot lower than a Haaland or a Messi or Ronaldo. Yep. And look, you could argue 3 or 4 years ago when Harry Kane went through that calendar year and he was putting in Messi and Ronaldo numbers, that's what that's what it's kind of going to be looking at. I think he's that arrogant that he'll let him leave. What do you see? Do you see him offering him a £400,000 a week or a £500,000 a week contract? Absolutely not. At the age of 31. So yeah, I mean, it could come down to it, but I think I generally think if you look at what they've paid in wages over the course of his contracts, it's peanuts compared to what some of the players in the Premier League and in worldwide football are getting. So actually, to lose him for nothing, and the argument will be, well, we've got Richarlison that we've paid 60 million or whatever.
You mean the excuse?
Yeah, sorry, the excuse. Yeah, the excuse is
his
that
ankles
we've
are
got
bad. He's old. He's this.
Don't worry, and then we'll go and sign Danjuma. I mean, look, Danjuma probably not the right person, but ultimately he's done what he could do. But another excuse: we've got Richarlison, we've signed Danjuma, and then we'll go for obviously then. But hang on, but then Dane Scarlett will come back, and then you've got what do you call it from from Preston as well. So Troy Parrott. So you've got those coming back. So they'll be
Scarlett.
fine.
And Scarlett.
Yeah, and Scarlett and Parrott coming back. So that's fine. So we've got Parrott, Scarlett, Danjuma, and Richarlison. So we haven't spent any money, but we've got 4 strikers now. Or
can't score goals at the moment.
Yeah. So that's the excuse. So hang on a minute. You had Harry Kane, but you have 4 now, so it's fine. That's the excuse. So
that's going to be it, isn't it?
Yeah,
that is it. Mate, it's gonna, mate. Oh, this club. Listen, I'm gonna be going all week with Cockerel Doodle Doos. I'm going absolutely mad. The titles of these now are Cockerel Doodle Doo, Explosive Rants or Chill Chats. I think you can pretty much guarantee that this week is going to be a week. I think toss a coin.
What? Because hang on a minute. I reckon, what is it? 6, 6:15. less than 4 hours, Eric Dyer's 3-year contract will be announced at 10
Oh,
p.m.
then
this
I
evening.
might just go live, mate. I might just go live, and it'll be me just
Another
destroying
excuse.
this room.
Why have we rewarded failure? Oh, because he's done a lot for the club. Excuse, yeah. He's done a lot of bad, but he has done good. Yeah.
He's close to a testimonial, so we want to be calm and nice to him and say, have it. Yeah, if he does that in the next 4 hours, I'm gonna go live. It will just be me fucking destroying this room. It'll just be me destroying the bedroom. But Nick, listen, before we go, brother, tell everyone about your channel and where they can find you.
Yeah, so look, we try and have a laugh because there's a lot of craziness going on, a lot of things going on, and look, we just want to try and have fun. Shelfside Spurs show on a Thursday at 7:30. Obviously, I won't. We'll be going on next. We'll be going on next Thursday. We won't be on the Thursday after because I'm doing the watch long for Man United. That's going to be. I don't know why.
I'm going. That's going to be the game where it turns like the Nuno.
Yeah.
That's the game.
So look. Yeah, you can find us over there. We talk a little bit of football, but ultimately we want everyone to have a laugh because there's so much craziness, so many excuses from the fans, from the board, from the players. That we want to just try and remove that and just have fun. So yeah, if you want to join us, then go and find us there on a Thursday at 7:30.
Yeah. Although you might have to change your nights, mate, because next season we could be busy on Thursday nights.
No. Well, yeah. I mean, well, yeah, but then another excuse. I'll just make up an excuse and say
there you go,
we're not going live because Tottenham are on, and we're not going to go live because Tottenham are on. So yeah.
Well, you only have to wait till the first round, and then we'll go out for some reason.
Yeah. But look, I don't. I think, you know, I'm going to be safe, and I think that Liverpool are going to come good, and we're going to finish in 8th place. So we don't need to worry about
the fight. No Europe.
No Europe.
Then everyone get over to Shelfside Spurs next season on Thursdays for primetime TV. But listen, guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, Levy out. Tottenham Tour.